Hey, better, better, hey, better, better, hey, better, better. Hear my mother call. Ooh. Get the final little essence. What's happening, PJ? Crazy Sides. What's happening, Lobo? Mo Ray. What is happening? Well, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. A Wind is timeless. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game created by the Hero Twins. I am your galactic daddy-o, sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. Sebastian, what's happening? What is happening with everybody tonight? And our commercial is again, we're drinking Wonderland Sierra Nevada. It's 7.5%. So you drink too many of these and it'll kind of get you there. It's like my son. He discovered 40 ounces. It's like smiling. I like those 40 ounces, Dad. Like, okay, buddy. I was drinking them 40 years ago, them in quarts. So pop them if you got them, smoke them if you want them, drink up. Cheers to you. Toast to the booty. Cheers to one and cheers to all. So, did everybody see the devastating punches and kicks tonight? That kick, I mean, did you watch her feint kicks first? Her feint kicks was so sweet. I mean, just the way she was shifting her weight, and then you could see when she wanted to lead with that left. But and Chick had the high guard. I mean, she kicked through the high guard, which was very brilliant. And then on the main event, when you're talking about, so you throw the semi hook and you kind of grab him. If you notice, that's what he did. He kind of grabbed him. So as he threw the hook and kind of grabbed him, it slowed dude down because dude had to react to his arm kind of being grabbed, and then he just beat him to the punch. And pow! But I like what the brother said afterwards. Dude was like, he has my number. If he has your number, don't jump back in there with him. And people don't pay for it again. What happened last time? Uniquely breed, what's happening? Oh, hey, James, what is happening? Um, I don't know. I'm reading a lot of. I'm friends with quite a few people on Facebook from India, and they're saying that it's a crisis over there. But and I can't say yay or nay. We know when they attack countries, they can attack countries with biological weapons. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But is it that? Because remember, when they was first saying this in China, they were showing the same kinds of propaganda. So it's hard to know what's propaganda and what's not propaganda. But a lot of it sounds like propaganda. So we'll see. We'll see. But I hope everybody is smooth tonight. I hope everybody, another mild day up here in the Great White North. Got a little bit of walking in today, so got out for a little bit, but did a lot of nothing. Didn't even have to cook for the big fella. And then my daughter will be over here in the morning, so I'm gonna have to cook tomorrow. But I've got some asparagus and some other goodies that I'm going to break out for that. uh oh, not too much here. Getting this double time. Ooh, double time on is good if you can get it. That is good on the weekends. Good for you, PJ. Get that money, brother. Get that cheese. Stack it up. That's all you can do. That's the American way. So I'm sorry I'm a little late getting on tonight. Messing around. Attack of the Titan comes on Cartoon Network, so I usually watch that on Saturdays. So I got to watch that. There you go. That is it. Make that money. So that's why I was a little late getting it together. But a very lazy day for me. Meditated very early today, so got that out the way. Before I went walking, I meditated. I meditate a good 30, 40 minutes every day. And that's just to clear my mind, you know, clear away the illusion, be here now, as it's said, because I have to constantly remind myself, be here now. It's not in the past, it's not in the future. It's all here right now. Because what you want to manifest starts from where you are now. Because you don't want to manifest with an idea of what you could happen from you manifesting in the future. It has to be lucid, movable. You have to be uh, being here now means the way you manifest. It may not come perfect as what you imagine, but you have to be fluid. That's the word I was looking for. You have to be fluid as if there's any adjustments you have to make. Because as you manifest, nutrient means making adjustments. Doesn't just mean just saying, "Oh, come on, just help me out." No, it's making adjustments. It's the same way with being balanced. Balance isn't just in the middle. You got to lean left or right, back or forward, up or down sometimes. So that's the same thing with nurturing something. You have to be fluid with the nurturing. It's like if the dam breaks, you got to put a little clay here or concrete there. So I want to put that out to everybody because that's what being here now means, is that this very moment is okay. I mean, what did Alan Thicke say? I make right now okay. I make right now all right. And that's all we are. All we have to do. We're going to get ready for the hurricane season. Oh, okay. That's one thing I don't miss about North Carolina. North Carolina kind of got a little of that in September, August. And even though I can't say I practiced in a lot of rainy games, played in a few, but not a whole lot. But it always seemed like either beginning of September in North Carolina or the end of August, we would get hit with those rains for 2, 3 weeks. And yeah, I imagine it did rain in practice. I had to. I can remember walking to uh, walking to class and getting rained on. So yeah, we must have practiced in the rain, and I just don't remember. That would have been fun anyway. Uh, Hard to pass, hard to catch. And when you're practicing in the rain, then the coaches want to yell at you because it's raining and you're not catching. So, so I don't miss that about living on the coast. I remember that part. It was always like a monsoon season. As I had studied about things, I've been living there for 7 years. I noticed that. And then I did live through a couple hurricanes living in the Piedmont area of North Carolina. We didn't get blasted like people on the coast, but we still got heavy rains. And when I worked for the water department, we didn't work when it rained. I mean, we really did not work unless it was emergency. We didn't work when it rained. Now, if a pipe busted in town somewhere, of course we had to go. But again, that's under emergency. But we didn't work when it rained. We played cards, sat in the truck and slept, whatever we wanted to do. We just had to stay there at the city yard. Thought that was interesting. And so if it snowed, we definitely didn't do anything when it snowed. We just had to make it to work. And it was just a paid day off, pretty much, unless it was emergency. So I like that about North Carolina. I wonder if they still have that practice. not getting any of the work tickets done, and still having to pay people. But again, it was the city, so maybe it didn't make that big a difference. I don't know, but it was good days. So yeah, we don't get hit with anything like that here. We get hit with them blizzards. But I think most of the blizzards are over. It was supposed to snow tonight. So what is the temperature now? To see if we would get any snow tonight. Because it doesn't feel very chilly right here, and I am under these lights, but it's not very chilly. 37. So yeah, it is chilly. But yeah, so I guess maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they called the snow off. Like, okay, 1 a.m. Looks like we might get a little rain, 2, 3, 4 tomorrow. So not bad, but it is 37 degrees. So it's supposed to be 45, but then 70 on Monday, but rain. So warm but wet. Oh, Antoine, what's happening? Who is your MVP for the NBA this season? uh, well, I will say this: is LA got beat, but someone had posted Luca. The Luca shot was just crazy that he made that shot that put them up what 7. He hit the three that put them up 7. Again, all manipulated. Uh, Timberwolves beat the Jazz for the second time this year, which was a pretty decent game. I ended up watching that game too. I think they're going to give it to Joker. Again, it's this whole European player from Europe. Um, I think that's what they've been shooting. I wonder if did Dirk ever get MVP? I can't really remember. But they did give it to Nash 2 years in a row. He didn't deserve it either year. Go look at the stats. And a lot of people say, well, who was the most valuable to their team? It's always been about stats. And neither time that Nash won it was he ahead in stats, nor did his team win it all. So you showing it showed that what they was trying to push even then. I imagine they're trying to do the same thing with Joker. It's like not when Larry Bird won it his years. Larry Bird worked out on people. Yeah, Nash didn't work out on anybody. You led the league in maybe assists. Well, remember what Tiny Archibald did. He led the league in scoring and assists. I think the only other person that did that was Wilt. So don't tell me a person that led the league in assists but only averaged 12, 13 points a game when Kobe was averaging damn near 30. And LeBron, one year Shaq should have won it, and 1 year Kobe or LeBron should have won it. Nash should have never won it. But so this year, to answer your question, I think Embiid raised his team the most, but I think missing the games again. He missed, which would have been his 19th game today, whereas Joker hasn't missed a game. And so, by going by that, I would say Joker probably is going to get it. Uh, Again, it's a kind of I don't know. He has the stats though. I'll say that he does have the stats. He matches Embiid in points and rebounds, and he has almost 10 steals or 10 assists. And what this is the second year in a row where he's going to lead the team, I think, in points and assists. So maybe points, assists, and maybe even rebounds. So he deserves it. Dirk got it in '07. Okay, Dirk got it. Okay, '07. Timeless. Hey, Jesse Lynn, thank you for joining. I got caught in the Isabella hurricane in Virginia years ago. Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Jesse Lynn, thank you for joining me. No, Keyman. What no key playoff MVP. So he got the playoff MVP. Well, I thought he got the playoff MVP too. But yeah, I don't think he got MVP of the league. And like all the MVPs of the league are in the Hall of Fame. Well, except the newer guys that recently, but all of them in the Hall of Fame, but Bob McAdoo. And I don't know what they have against Bob McAdoo. Bob McAdoo won a couple titles with Magic and Jabbar. Bob McAdoo put in that work. He had this the highest release and almost a two-hand kind of release, like almost a push shot. But I mean, he released it so high. Bob McAdoo was sweet. But so he'll probably get it. I'm thinking that I'm thinking that Joker will probably get it this year, and he plays hard every night. He runs a true, and this is what's interesting about the way they run it with him. He runs a true high post with the big man, and not necessarily high post screen roll. He rose the high post where they's all cutting off him. Now he was perfect with Murray because when Murray would cut off him into the middle or going baseline side, uh, Murray could handle so well with just that little fake one way misdirection, the handoff or pass. He could take a couple dribbles and go to the basket. They're not going to get that from Austin Rivers, but still the type of offense makes him a triple threat because he can pass it, and you have to give it that he has that good eye to pass the ball. But Sabonis, when he came in the league, he had those same kind of abilities. He was a good passer. He had those problems of his when he came into the NBA, his skills were pretty much gone, but he was still 7'2", 7'3", could still pass the ball, could still throw a hook every now and then. Couldn't really guard anybody because he couldn't hardly move, but his passing ability was outstanding. And Joker seems to be within that. So I'm guessing he'll get it. Yeah, Chili. That's what I was talking about, the leading. I mean, I like the way you throw. It wasn't really a jab. Again, it was an interesting jab, but he kind of grabbed his arm too. He jabbed it, and as he went to block, he kind of grabbed his arm, and as he grabbed his arm, it stopped dude from firing as quick because dude, he beat dude to the punch and then just devastated him. But that kick that Rose did, I mean, she kicked her in the jaw and knocked her out. She like pow. But if you watched her, she was fainting because the chick was looking for the kicks, and she was fainting, and she was changing position, shifting her weight, and the chick kind of relaxed. And even though the chick had the high guard, she kicked her right in the face, and it just like boom, knocked her off her feet. Oh, thanks, Jay. But yeah, she got her good. I watched that fight too. So, but it was, I mean, it was a good right hand. Good right hand. I must have watched it 20 times. It's like pow, rewinding it back and forth. Pow. So I like that. I like that. It's a cat, the modern martial artist. He has an illustration book too on striking and balance. His name is the Modern Martial Artist. He breaks down a lot of different fighting styles, but he also has an illustrated book of strikes and stuff. So if those of you that are interested in that kind of thing, he's a nice person to subscribe to because he breaks down fights beautifully, very beautifully, and that's the kind of thing I look for is how a person is moving his head, his arms, and all that. I look for all that kind of thing, not just the punches and stuff. It also can help you see and where the fights are fixed because I caught some stuff he was doing, and I'm like, you've got to know this was fixed as well, buddy. But he's breaking down the technique, but you could see some things in the fix. Like he was doing a little bit of thing of Mike Tyson. There's a few of Mike Tyson stuff where the fights are fixed, but you see the same thing. He was doing a breakdown of Sugar Ray Roberts or Sugar Ray Leonard, and you saw some where Sugar Ray like threw a punch and dude just crumbled where he didn't hit him. So we see a lot of that. What do you think of Randall UNC? He's the man in New York. Randall is nice. I thought Randall went to Kentucky though. Randall went to Kentucky. Randall is nice. I never understood why the Lakers got rid of him. I just thought for the type of player he was in the same thing as Adrian Dantley, Truck Turner. Trying to think, Phil Chenier was a little better mid range shooter, but he's that mid range guy that is nice to see them bringing that game back again. And again, all games are fixed, but to highlight a dude that has a mid range game, and then a guy that no one can stop, and he's going left handed. I mean, that's kind of interesting as well. So, oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What does prime years mean? Like when somebody says he's a great player in his prime years. Well, like if you look at a person's first couple years, the guy is learning. But then if you look at a person like I know Muhammad Ali might be an old kind of comparison, but like with Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain was a storm from damn near beginning into the end. So his prime was from the beginning to the end. But if you look at a guy like even Jordan, remember Jordan got hurt his second year. So yeah, when he came back, he scored 63. But you can look at his best years is when he won those first championships because he had mastered the game. And again, it's fixed, but it's when a person masters the game, not necessarily when he's at his most athletic. It's when the person masters the game. I think Magic went in the league like that as well. Magic was another one that was always in his prime. Again, when Magic quit, that hurt him. Those years he was forced to stop. So that means that when a person is at their peak or their best, and the best with their athletic ability and everything, when they all get it together and the game, like when guys say the basket looks, like a swimming pool, it sometimes does. A guy can get in that kind of streak. I've watched dudes hit 8, 9, 10 shots during games. We playing games. We had one game where we were in the semifinals of a semi-pro game, and my guy hit like 8 in a row. And the dude who we were playing with ran the center and just he crashed the whole tournament. This was the semifinal game. We were about to go into the finals. Rob had just got hot. And the guy who ran the place killed the tournament. Killed the tournament. And it wasn't even a tournament. This was like the summer league. And he just stopped the game. And we never played the finals or anything. But that's what it means. It means a person at his peak performance. So it means a person that masters the game as well, where he's at his peak performance and he masters the game. And that's the biggest thing to look at. I'm trying to think of a good example that you can relate to um, seeing guys that improve because a lot of guys, when the athleticism goes, their game goes. Like right now, I wouldn't even say Zion. Zion is not hitting his peak performance yet because he still hasn't mastered all the game. He's only this is what the second year. And so you look at him in another year or two, and I would say that's where Randall's at. Randall is probably at his peak performance where he can make everybody better, but yet he can't really be stopped. And so that's what I think that's kind of what they mean. It means that the years they were at their best. And you look at the stats too. Sometimes the stats approve. You can look at people's stats and then you can see where the stats start falling off because it's like you see where the stats pick up and then where the stats fall off. That's kind of what it means. Yeah, I get it, PJ. I was tripping. Was Garnett recipient of magnet rims whenever players like him or Edwards chosen prior to draft? So given small markers like our Wolves. Well, I mean, it was games where they was helped. It was games where Ryder was helped. You can see like one of the oldest plays they do in the NBA since the 3-point shot is where they'll pass it to the player open around the 3-point line. And I've caught a couple games because every team runs that play where everybody gets behind the 3-point line and they pass it to, they pass it around the horn. And then they have a guy shoot it in the or wherever it ends up. But I remember watching the Nets run that play. I'm like, everybody runs that play. So did Edwards slamming on people. So Edwards' ability to jump on people, Dustin, he's jumping on and over people, kind of Jordanish. So those kind of shots don't need help. They're helping him like they helped Zion. They helped Zion. I mean, his shot doesn't look near. Remember, Zion was a flat-footed set shot, and they was letting him hit because nobody was guarding him. But Edwards is more athletic. So Edwards is, what's he shooting, they letting it go. They're letting it go. So yeah, so Garnett did but he was a mid-range player too. And of course they help mid-range shots, but when you have a mid-range game, you have a greater percentage of hitting those shots. Plus he was going to get 10 to 20 rebounds every night with Garnett. And he was going to play D and being 7 foot. He always said he wasn't, but he's 7 foot. But he D'd up every night too, even when he was a smaller, skinnier dude. So but Edwards and our guys chosen I don't even know that Garnett played in the McDonald All-Star game. I don't think he did. Out of Chicago King, maybe he did because he was hit with that Lynch charge when they put him out of South Carolina and they had to put him in Chicago. They tried to put him, do what they did to Alvin Iverson to Garnett too. After Miami, he actually dropped off. Morey, what do you think LeBron's prime was? I think he was in physical prime, was his first stint in Cleveland, all around prime in Miami. After Miami's athleticism sharply dropped off. Yeah, well, he got older too. But I would say like his peak of really pure performance and getting there was when he turned out the Pistons and he put them in the finals. I mean, that was really where you saw him. And I'm not going to say his best, but I'm saying out of the younger self, you saw the prime younger self when he scored the 40 something or 50 something on Detroit. Chris Webber was on that team, Rip Hamilton, Prince. I want to even say Rasheed Wallace might have still been on that team. I don't quite remember, but LeBron put it on there. But that's when you saw the young is young. But like again, LeBron losing to Dallas, was that prime LeBron? Remember how they made him do the shame? I mean, it's no way you can look at that as being prime LeBron because the rest of the season he hooped, but not when he played against Dallas. That wasn't prime LeBron. But beating San Antonio, winning their first title down there, yeah, that was somewhat. Yeah, I could agree. But definitely when he went. Actually, I thought when he went to Cleveland, you could kind of see he was on this downward slope. True. Is it true that Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan shaved points? I had never heard that before. I had never heard that either one of them has shaved points in that regard. I mean, that goes into why and how long they've been wearing the earbuds and what the agenda for the game is. So that's always been a consideration. You know, I showed some videos like that. Timberwolves is out of it by 20, or I forget how much they was out of it, but a dude takes the ball out and shoots a three. And we see that kind of thing. And again, when the game's over, you're supposed to just dribble it out. If you can't win, you're not supposed to shoot. But we see when they want the spread covered, players shoot, and nobody says nothing to them. So I can't necessarily comment on that. I never heard of any one of those point shaving or that, but it's always been agenda and it's always been handicap what the game's supposed to be. So, do you believe Gary Anderson threw the championship game against the Falcons in '98? Why? For money? Did Denny Green know, or maybe was involved? Was Moss favored in giving technology? I think, Dustin, I've said this before, the game was lost by Randall Cunningham. Randy Moss had went by a DB. DB was one-on-one. Randy Moss was there for the game winner. And Cunningham threw a duck up in the air. And it was intercepted. I think it was intercepted and gave the ball back to them. So I don't even blame Anderson. I blame Randall Cunningham. Anderson was hit or miss, and yeah, they probably did use, the manipulation to push it away. But they had a clear touchdown, which would have gave them the lead. And I think they would have won that Super Bowl. I think they were a stronger team than Denver. They matched up better too. So I blame Randall Cunningham. I don't blame Anderson. Not needing much help, just straight up listen. Just hard to believe. We got a real one here. His fingers crossed. He got skills. Let's make them look at D'Angelo. And I like D'Angelo there because it takes pressure off of him as well. But they running the offense through Edwards. So I don't know how much Russell's going to like that. I don't even think Towns likes it. There's been all these rumors about them getting rid of Towns too. So but Towns seems to be with it. And Towns' actor. I can't stand Towns. He is such a big actor. How do you shave points? Well, shaving points means you don't score. It can go both ways. I mean, people think it's that you hold the points away, but it can go the other way, where you push the score up as well. It's not just lowering the score; you could push the score up as well. So it's a lot of different ways. Like if you really want to see, who was it? Arizona got caught the last major one. That might have been in the late '80s, early '90s, where Arizona got caught with one of the last shaving the point scandals. You can read about the scandals in the 1950s that caught Connie Hawkins and Doug Moe and Roger Browning when they had nothing to do with it. But you can catch that if you really want to see kind of how it was done. Blue Chip, the movie Blue Chips, watch that because they're looking at a player they think becomes suspicious, and it shows kind of how the guy was missing on purpose. That's probably the best example if you want to see how it was practiced. Blue Chip would show you that. There's that scene where they show the one player. Um, they show one of the ex-players. Remember, they all go in the office and they put the old tape in and they show how the dude was missing free throws. That's what they mean. But shaving points can also mean going forward too. It can be scoring extra points if you need a greater to achieve, the cover. So you can score up as well. If I mean, can it be gambled on with Vegas? Then it can be fixed. Yes. Well, that's the thing. Revius. I've said that if there's a voting, if there's a line on any game, it's fixed. If there's a spread on any game, the game is already compromised. They don't let young people decide who's going to win and lose this stuff when it's all that money. I mean, national championship games, and I'm not talking about, the little WNBA where nobody but diehard fans cares. Nobody cares about that. But I'm saying when this bread is on the line, like we just saw with the national championship game, when that real bread was on the line, you better believe they control that kind of thing. They definitely control that kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, it is. Hey, Alito, thank you for joining me. Vikings got no peace and love, ain't win. Get no love. Hey, I've said it before. Long as the gear is cheap, I love sports gear. I think I paid this jersey was one time, and this jersey, I got my other jersey, this 22, this Smith's jersey, I bought from a dude that I know is you know how they be making jerseys, but it's made better than this one. It is the numbers are sewn in. See, this is print. This is print. And that's about the only thing that's, but even that's just ironed on. But see, this is print. My other jersey is all sewn in. But this panel is better because it's the lower panel of my other jersey. So you can see. And this one's cut more for shoulder pads. That's the way this is cut out. This is a couple years ago. I don't care. I think this jersey was once $100. I paid 20, and this hat I got for $2. So, as long as it's cheap like that, I'm with it. Gambling is a sort of a scam. Of course it is. The house has all the odds. The house has all the odds. I'm like, hey, Edward, thank you for joining me. I guess I missed the ball sticky part. Okay, Edward, I'm missing the joke there. I guess I missed the ball sticky part. But yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, it's gambling is always on again with the house. You may have figured out a few things, but when your hot streak goes, it's know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to be up, and know when to quit. And a lot of people get that, like people get gold fever, they get gambling fever and don't know when to quit. Don't know when to quit. The Texas Tech's UV in Natty a couple years back was so obvious. It was fixed for UVA, especially into the game in overtime. Well, remember with Virginia. Remember in Virginia, Virginia was done. Dude shot a jumper from the corner, and if he misses, Virginia's out. And the dude is all up like we see the NBA. I showed some games like that. They do the NBA like, oh, I didn't touch him. And you obviously made contact with him on purpose. So Virginia had a couple funky calls where it was an over and back. They didn't call it. One of the dudes kicked it over, went back and got it and brought it back across the line. They didn't call it. So, but the Virginia game in the corner where they gave him 3 free throws to win the game was, and I showed look at one of my videos during the tournament on Texas where he misses a shot on purpose or throws it away. I forget. I was racing it off my phone the other day, but you see it. You see it. If there's a line on it, it is fixed. I got a authentic Minnesota Fire joint. Oh, okay. Okay, nice, PJ. Minnesota Fire. Thoughts on socialism and communism. It was interesting. One of my guys I grew up with, I was reading on Facebook what he said. Start rubbing my eyes. I already read enough. But what he said on Facebook on Lenin, a little bit they skipped. But if you watch that Trotsky stuff, they was in France and they had Jewish faith people trying to overthrow the Catholic regime in Russia. The Tsar, they were Catholics, Christians, Catholics, one of them. So the Jewish faith people wanted to overthrow Russia, and their very aim was the very beginning was to brutalize the people. And so that's what you see. He was the Jewish faith people gave, again, all of them dudes was Jewish faith. Trotsky, they tell you in this show that you read history about it, and they tell you that he took a jailer's name, but all of them dudes was Jewish faith people. And I'll say this, let me say this before I get into it. There's only two leaders that ever fought the Jewish faith people, only two. Isabella, because Isabella put their ass. Inquisition was more about them than about the Moors. It was more about the Jewish faith people than it was about the Moors, because they were technically only, the Moors only controlled would be the oceans, like Toledo was one of the oceans, and Toledo was one of the ocean cities on the city. So they didn't control a lot. But Isabella, went to war against them people, and so did Hitler. Hitler's the only one. And so it is their system of control. That is what they prefer. That is why the Chinese don't control China. The Jewish faith people control China, because they gave them the system. And they are the force behind the face. You guys like that? The force behind the face. That's what they're trying to bring here. They're trying to bring that here. What do you think these payments are? What do you think killing the economy is about? What do you think killing small businesses? Do you think that's an accident that they went after small businesses? Nothing we've seen, any of y'all listening tonight, there's nothing you've seen that explain the way they killed small businesses and allowed big businesses to stay open. Do you understand? They allowed big businesses to stay open. So why couldn't Ace Hardware stay open? Those are more than likely small businesses. Fleet Farm got to stay open because that is farming. There's some stuff farmers buy in that stuff. But most mom and pop places was wiped out. I got a friend who owned quite a prestigious restaurant. He owned a few of them. They're gone. He can't come back. So communism is Jewish faith people's control. That is the government. That is the government they prefer of control. They prefer that. Now, socialism is a form of communism. Now, they try to say they're different, but it's a thing that would go into communism. It's a step before communism. So socialism is part of communism. That's why liberalism is not a part of capitalism. I've said this many times. You can do your own research. Liberalism is the term that the Jewish conversos use to explain why they converted from Jewish faith to Catholic. That's what a liberal is. You can look it up yourself. I can go get the book Isabella of Spain, and that's how old it is. It has nothing to do with capitalism. They instilled that later, but the original definition was for the Jewish faith people to say why they're conversos. My bad, Islam. Hey, Rocky, thank you for joining me. My damn Postmates order got canceled because they said there was no delivery. They said like 45 minutes I ordered. This shit blows. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what you ordered, buddy, but I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think MJ still gambles? Hell yeah, he still gambles. So I hope that gave you an answer, Moray. But yeah, MJ still gambles. That man is a gambling addict. He'd gamble on anything. You saw on how they was gambling just on pitching quarters. Remember that? He was gambling $100, $200 on just pitching quarters against the wall, which used to be called pitching pennies. I mean, if you spoke about the ball sticking on the back of the rim at the start of the show, I missed it. No, I have not. I've seen it. I did not see Paul George's shot. I still didn't see the highlights, so I can't really speak on that one. Yeah, MJ does own some part of the DraftKings. Who else? Somebody just bought into him too. Was it Kobe's wife? Somebody just bought into DraftKings too, and I can't remember the name, but somebody else. They mentioned her and MJ. but it was some female just bought into DraftKings as well. World events do not occur by accident, but by those who hold the purse strings. There you go. Who funded the Black Panthers? You know who funded the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers were started by the FBI. You didn't see, I mean, anybody that's looking at Newton and Bobby Seale, that's the black and white thing, the light skin, dark thing. I mean, just how does that happen? It just happens, light skin, dark skin. The founders are light skin, dark skin. So it was about to happen organically. So they was sent in there, and they was both agents. Again, you look at the thing where they took over Sacramento, and you can see how they served little Bobby Hutton up for sacrifice, and he was the first Panther sacrifice. But Newton wasn't there. And then they give you some bullshit reason. He's supposed to be a leader. You would think the leader would be the front and center. No, you see Bobby Hutton front and center. He's only about 5'2", 5'3", carrying a shotgun, and then weeks later, he's naked coming out of the house with Eldridge Cleaver. So, and there's a guy on YouTube that uses Eldridge Cleaver as his thumbnail. And Eldridge Cleaver was an agent, and he was a weirdo. Why was he in that house naked with a 17-year-old? And his shirt is off. And he tells the story. Well, or no, it was the opposite way. Eldridge Cleaver was naked. Bobby Hutton had his shirt off, and Eldridge said he took off all his clothes so they saw he didn't have a gun. No, that motherfucker was a weirdo. He was in there doing some weirdo shit. So, yeah, you got that as your thumbnail. You don't even know he's a fucking government agent, which will make people wonder, are you a government agent? Using that as your goddamn thumbnail. Oh, you ordered a ribeye with roast veggies and mashed potatoes, but you can't have it. Yeah, that's a bummer. We was in Minneapolis last week when my oldest son was in town, and my youngest son ordered some shit, and after waiting an hour, I was like, yeah. I went and took his brother all the way across town and came back, and I was about to leave his ass, and I came back and got him like, yeah, you got to cancel that shit. Let's go. Do you think coaches know the team's records before season begins since it's a script? Always wondered this. That's a good question. And I would say yes. Now, because this is something that I still wonder about my games. And my games 40 years ago, I can't say that many people was that interested in black college football and betting on those games. I'm not sure that we were bet on a national scale, but I still didn't understand why we would stay in three deep sometimes when we're playing with these teams that we know pass. And if we're not getting at them by blitzing, because that's kind of what we ran the four linebackers, we were in the 4-3, and where we had four linebackers and three DBs. And if you're not getting to them blitzing, I never understood why they didn't throw in the rover package where it would give you some help back there. So that never made sense to me either. So I think so. I think they do. Thoughts on Crowley? Well, I mean, Crowley's lasting thing, is Hollywood. I mean, the system of initiation is all Crowley. Crowley put that together for him. And then they put him out, and he became bitter because he thought that, once they embraced him and he set that system up, he thought they was going to embrace him and make him the king of it. And they did the opposite. And it kind of drove him crazy because he saw his system in action. They still use his system of initiation, sacrifice is still used. It's still Crowley's system. He taught those people. Now, we know who runs Hollywood. I mean, again, I don't think, how do I want to say this? I think there was some magic that Crowley had they didn't understand. And Crowley, knowing the energy that was out there, Crowley helped them put all that together. Again, they you can get into books into the 14th, 13th, 14th century and see these people have been sacrificing people since these times. And that's nothing new. There's, again, where there's smoke, there's fire. You don't, You don't hear them talk about in the 14th century that black folks were sacrificing people all over the world. So it's got to be some truth to it. So that's what Crowley put in. Now, good read. Use your discernment. Good read, but use your discernment. He kind of gives you some things in there, but use your discernment. Thought so. I mean, it's a good read, some studying, but use your discernment in reading it. Same year as Cam Newton was born, played on the Panthers, just like what does they say? Jay-Z and Chairman Fred was born the same years. Half these guys as agents on YouTube. That is, I would tend to agree with you there. Is Zach Hubbard an agent? He speaks some truth. I just say that Zach has an agenda. I'll say that. Saying that it's the Jesuits and not the Jewish faith people makes me wonder about him, because the Jesuits work for the Jewish faith people. It ain't the other way around. And so he seems to have sided with somebody where he blames everybody for the Jewish faith people or Jesuits. He blames everything on the Jesuits and he doesn't say it's them. And that makes me wonder. That makes me wonder, because I say that it's the top is the Jewish faith people, and then the second tier would be the Jesuits, are like the CIA. They are like the church's CIA, because there ain't no Catholic, there ain't no Christian, they're all Jewish faith. That's why they dress the way they dress. The Pope wears the same little hat they wear. It's just one thing. It's just one thing. At least I'm saying the way it's operated on a world scale is just one thing. The energies, the people may think the energies are different, but it comes from them. It comes from the Marduk, the Bala Marduk. It comes from all that. The jealous god, the Yabatha, the Morj. It's all that kind of energy, but that comes from them. So, I ain't got nothing. I mean, I don't mean that a bad way, but I just think he sided, and I'll have to call in and ask him one day. I definitely ain't scared of that motherfucker. So, that's my man. No, I'm cool with him. If he took a side, that's what motherfuckers do. Motherfuckers get successful, they have to take a side. You hate the game, you can't hate the player. Why they shame Farm like they did when he went to New York? My favorite all-time player. I love to think he was a real one as well. But their agenda somehow. Well, they broke his ankle. They broke his ankle. Like the play before, they call, when they're playing the Saints, the play before they call roughing the passer. And then the very next play, he gets his ankle broken and no call. And then they don't take him out. They only needed a first down and they don't take him out. They let him play on a broken ankle. And even if they would have won, I doubt he could have played, because remember, when he came back the following year, he was even worse. When he played that second year for the Vikings, he was even worse. But he was still healing from that broken ankle. They injured him on purpose, and they didn't even call a penalty. They did not even call a penalty on that play. Remember, it was the same kind of cheating scandal that we just saw with the Astros. You didn't take the World Series away. You didn't take that Super Bowl away. You just gave the coach a vacation. You giving these rich people vacations. That's all they did. Even that defensive coach is back in the league again. So, but yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he was kind of reckless. He was kind of reckless with the ball, though. They called him a gunslinger, but he forced it a lot of times and put him out of games. But remember when Michael Vick beat him up there? Favre didn't have to force it. They was coming back on Atlanta, and Favre forced the interception. So, I don't know. They're just not marketable. They're still going to have to go back to the original Americans to win the championship to get ratings, butts back in the seats. Well, we'll see. There was on all the games today, there's more and more fans. Hey, Maurice, thank you for joining. I'm smooth. But they took Reggie Bush's Heisman away, which was silly as hell. But you can always order another Heisman, so that's just smoke and mirrors. You could always order another one. Just because you give that one back, you can call them, and it ain't like they would be like, look, I got this bread. I sent that one back to the NCAA. Can I buy another one from y'all? And you can get another one. So that ain't no thing to get one. Western Michigan had one, and no one from Western Michigan ever won the Heisman, but they had a Heisman trophy up in there. So you can buy them things. Bounty thing against Favre was all planned. I'll just say, though, the way they injured him, I don't know. They injured him because maybe they thought he was about to come back, but they broke his ankle. They definitely broke his ankle. So Bounty Gate was all planned. I would say they was allowed. It was allowed, not just planned, but allowed. That wasn't nothing new. I mean, to say people got bonuses, I mean, that goes back to like really what they was telling you was a kind of type of college system. That's the kind of thing used to happen in college. You get a sack, one of the boosters would give you some money. You get an interception, you get a touchdown. That's some college shit. So they were saying that there was a pool that, if you got this or that or put a player out. Because remember, they knocked out what's his name that won the Super Bowl with the Rams. They knocked him out. Remember, he threw an interception and it was somebody looking for him and they knocked him out the game. Remember that with the Cardinals? Cardinals was about to beat their ass. And he threw an interception. Kurt. His name will come to me in a minute. But the Kurt quarterback for the Rams that won the Super Bowl, he was with the Cardinals when the Cardinals played the Saints. Remember, he threw an interception and somebody went looking for him to hurt him, and they gave him a concussion, put him out the game after an interception. That's dirty. That is not normally planned. That you send a defensive player if there's a turnover and you have a defensive player looking for the quarterback to put him out. That's just not done, and that was done in that game. Yep, Kurt Warner. Yep, Kurt Warner. Yep. Also, that dog situation with Mike Vick, anything that got to air, caused a lot of press. Yeah, and I've said this before, and you can look this up too. It was two men it was their second time with the same charge Mike Vick got. Guys got fines. Same county. Two European dudes. But they got probation, nothing. They didn't get probation. They just paid a fine. But it was a shaming of Mike Vick. Again, they said he lost $100 million, but what happened when he went back in the league? He was given the $100 million back. And where's he at today? Where's Mike Vick at today? Mike Vick works for Fox, which is smart not to go to ESPN because ESPN is firing motherfuckers. ESPN's going out of business, it appears. ABC might I don't know. Like it never made sense to me, and just from a business plan to have motherfuckers talking about the same shit from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Just different faces and different heads giving their same spin on it. How could and maybe the ratings and, maybe the ratings were there. Maybe all the ads were there. I don't know, but that shit seems stupid to me. It was like you watch the first 2 hours of ESPN, the rest of the day because everybody's going to just parrot and give their own spin on the same shit. So it's like the new shit. They talking about the numbers and you got Brady, the 40-year-old man. What is Brady? Brady older than me. You got him talking about who's going to block whom. College players can wear any numbers they want on the line. College quarterbacks have no problem, and college linemen have no problem blocking dudes who's wearing 2 and 3 on the line. Linebackers, 1 through 10. So that show you they don't really want to switch. That's why he talks shit. It ain't got nothing to do with blocking. They don't really want to do it, but it's going to make the game more exciting to see those numbers. And I know that's kind of a sheep way to look at things, but that's what it's about. It's about the game is boring to people. So they're going to give them the college-like numbers. Hell, in college, you can have a person that play offensive defense wearing the same number. I used to have a book. I used to have a college book, and I lost this book years ago, but it showed a dude had his number was 1A. Again, he's playing with no face mask, but this motherfucker's about to run on the field, and he got 1A. Number 1 and a big A next to it. That was his number. And somebody snapped a picture. So, it's bullshit. It's going to put some fun back into the game, just like they went back into celebrating because that's what people like. People like that little bit of things, but it gets ridiculous. You had Juju Smith-Schuster, whatever the fuck his name was, and then motherfuckers is doing Temptations. They doing Temptations or oh my goodness, I can't think of the Bobby Brown group, but they doing them type of moves after, like 6 or 7 motherfuckers got time to do all these, choreographed moves. That shit's too much. But one person that, and again, the first person that Horace What's his name? Guy got his card. Horace Wagner? No, the dude who invented this. I'm slipping. I'm old man because I got his 3D card right in the table up there. But they invented the spike. That's the first time you saw a motherfucker uh, celebrate was the dude who invented the spike. He played for Cleveland and he played for New York. He made all pro when he played for New York. I'm an old man and I'm an old man. I can't think of his name. And I got his 3D card. I can't think of his name. But yeah. A Plexico Breeze as well got persecuted to the full extent of the law. Words from New York. The mayor at the time for the shooting his own self in his own leg killed his career. Well, if he felt that he needed that Glock that night, why didn't you wear some clothes that could hold the Glock? That had to be the stupidest shit ever. That was the stupidest way ever to go to jail. To hold a damn Glock in some sweatpants. And then to shoot yourself. That means he had to have it racked. So he had it hot in some sweatpants. So if you feel that you needed that to go into New York and go into the clubs, you deserve to go to jail because that was just plain stupid. He was just plain stupid. But again, it was a shame. He caught the Super Bowl winning catch and then he got shamed. But I have watched the film Tenet over 20 times. For some reason, I love the film so much. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? H, where you been, baby? Me and Super Sly did a whole show about that. We did a whole show about that. We love Tenet. I love Tenet. Tenet was some deep shit. Tenet was some real deep shit. And Tenet was the kind of movie where if you could see it the first time and notice everything, you pay attention. Because the car in the beginning, I paid attention to that. I was like, that's dude in the car there. And so that, and then just the fighting style, the first time going through, I'm like, dude is doing nothing but what do you call it? I'm old manning right now, but he wasn't trying to beat him up. He was just mirroring his moves, throwing. I can't think of the word right now, but he was kind of mirroring his move. But yeah, it's a deep movie. It's a very deep movie. The attack scene where they have to they don't want the building blowed up here, but they want it blowed up there. I mean, that shit was bad. But the way to catch bullets, to be in a battle zone and to catch and shoot bullets and motherfuckers, that's some deep shit. But yeah, we talked about that shit a long time ago. You got to look that up on Super Sly. Might be Super Sly 75 and Time Lord. Yep. So we love that movie too. But H, if you go to watch that, I think it might be under 8-Winged Eagle though. Might be Super Sly and 8-Winged Eagle. We did that whenever the movie came out. We did that a long time ago. Yep. Hey, Valerie, thank you for joining me. Yeah, why not hire security? Exactly. Why not hire security? Why go out? Why go out? You the fuck bothered like that? Why even go out? But hey, Valerie, thank you for joining me. Ja'Cory, thank you for joining me. It's the point of shaming these athletes like Vic or Deshaun Watson, especially when they're so profitable and famous. But you can put anybody in there, You can put anybody in them shoes. Like they saying, it's a million motherfuckers that's waiting to put them people in the shoes. So you shame one, it's to shame folks. It's like, no brother can have this money and then he's got to be a degenerate because he got money. I mean, Michael Jordan went through the gambling shaming that lost his father, which probably was a sacrifice. But yeah, it's to shame brothers, keep them down. Rocky, no spoilers. You haven't watched Tenet? Oh my goodness, you got to watch Tenet, man. Tenet is some bad shit. It's not many movies that I watch more than once, and I've watched Tenet about 3 times. So yeah, I kind of hate I didn't go to the movies to see Tenet. I watched Tenet here. And no person was like, how's he watching this shit from his movie? He's asking Sly that. Because I was like, yeah, I got to rewind that shit and watch that part again. And the dude was like, how did you? Yeah, I get that shit. I get it even before they put it on HBO. I get that stuff. So I'm sorry about the spoilers if you haven't watched it. That's not on HBO or none of the things yet. That movie was last year, 20. Hello, first time here. Question: how long do you think they have been doing the rims? Well, it goes back to 68. 68, 69 season was the first time it was done with Don Nelson shot. You see that high bounce, that unnatural high bounce. So that was the first time. And then, as I showed the other day, the Jerry West shot in the next season, which would have been 69-70, the season they gave it to the Knicks, despite Willis Reed going down, despite Wilt Chamberlain destroying them in Game 6, and they get blown out in Game 7. But that was the next time, the Jerry West shot. And I forgot, Jerry West damn near shoot that from his own key from the other basket. He gets the rebound, he damn near heaves it from the key. Yeah, that shot was definitely done. The next one was probably be Ralph Sampson's shot that beat the Lakers, and when the Lakers probably would have won to beat Boston that year, and Houston loses to Boston. That was 83, Larry Bird's second title. And then the national level was the Georgetown game. The Villanova shoots 71% as a team. Jensen makes 20-some points. He makes something like 7 threes, a 3-4 point a game dude. That was probably. So it's been in use since 69 is the first time I've really caught its use, was probably that Don Nelson shot, and then again the Jerry West shot. Yep. Do you think the players know? Yeah, they know. I mean, the player knows when he's on. A player knows when he's on. You see when they start chucking him up more and more. Like one player, like what's his name, plays for the Hawks. Young had the rim turned on the first 5-6 games. And that's what put him in the league. Plus, he was at LeBron and them camps. So, yeah. But that's what put him in the league. But those first 4 or 5 games, the rims was turned on. The rest of the season, where they wasn't winning, they turned the rims off. He wasn't smart enough to know the rims was turned off. But his early season put him in the tournament. And, of course, they lost their first game. But he was a cat that didn't, he's too young to know. But these dudes know. These dudes know. They don't keep heaving them up. They try to go to the mid-range game when they see the threes ain't falling like that. They get the hint. That's why Steph does that. He's thinking them. You see Jay Moran, I did the thing where he does this to him. He's thinking the people up there that turns, the big head man sitting in the room by himself and he's got a million screens and he's looking at the odds and all that shit too. He probably, how remember the big fat dude in the movie Dune? Remember he had that pus and stuff? It's probably a dude that looks that gross. He don't never leave the room. It's probably a person that's that fat and just got a all the time recliner, and he's got all these multiple screens and shit and betting lines, and he's the dude that is doing the systems. He's the ones that's watching the systems. Fat dude from Dune. No, it was a couple pieces I had for dinner earlier.
So you ate all the pizza?
It was only 2 pieces, buddy.
Yeah, I only had 0.
Godzilla. Please watch Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters. Godzilla City on the Edge, battling Godzilla the Planet Eater. They really depict Godzilla's story properly. Best animation. Oh, okay. Oh, that's an animation. Okay, I've watched Planet of the Monsters, I think. But yeah, I'll check that again. Thank you. Thank you, H. I'll check that out. Steph claims he's a Christian. Could he just not be glorifying God? Yeah, that ain't why. That ain't why. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that in college. If he was such a Christian, wasn't he a Christian in college? He wasn't doing it in college. He is thanking the system. And why would you thank God? Because you made a jumper. So every time you make a jumper, you just thank God. So does he do it when he warms up? You don't see him doing it when he warms up. There's a bunch of warming up Steph videos out there. He don't do it then, so it's an act. But he's thinking, oh yeah, you can eat the moose. I've been trying to prove how these games are rigged, but people think I'm crazy. Do you think they'll do the same thing in baseball? Of course they do, Adam. Of course. Absolutely, Adam. Absolutely, the games and the other ones are fixed. I mean, they're all fixed. They're all fixed. I talked about this last night. Ty Cobb said every World Series from 1910 to 1919 was fixed. So, Of course they're fixed. All the games are fixed. Again, I'll repeat myself. If there's a betting line on a match, it is predetermined. It's predetermined. That's how they do the system. Curry points up to the rafters as well as part of his celebrations. You're not eating the one that was right there, do you?
No.
That came out the fridge, didn't it? Okay. One been out all day. Yeah, the age of the old battle, father versus son. 8 win, ate the last 2 slices. Oh, I did. It was my pizza. No, he was an asshole that night. He ordered Domino's. Me and my daughter ate pizza. I bought it Cub. I bought a pizza Cub. I had to get the pepperonis because it was a sausage pizza. And I had to buy the pepperonis because she won't eat it. And the sausage got me sick because I ate a couple of them. And I don't really eat pork like that. English dub versions of the Godzilla films, they're a little difficult to find, but you'll find them. Okay, thank you. I've been trying to figure out a pattern. Yeah, it's a pattern in all the games, though. All the games, every game, you can see it. Like baseball is the easiest to fix because the fix is in every pitch. That is why, I'm convinced that they wear earbuds. They wear earbuds. All players wear earbuds, and they tell like how do you describe or how can you rationalize when you see like the Minnesota Miracle? The safety takes out his own man. The safety for the Saint knocks his own man out, who's the only one that could have made a play on the play. And on my old channel, before they erased it, I showed several plays like that, where you see defensive players blocking their own men. What is his name? Number 4 from Texas Tech for the Lakers. I got a play where he picks Caldwell Pope, whatever his name is, Caldwell Pope. He picks his own man. So number 55 that played for Michigan, for Miami, could shoot a 3 and put the game into overtime or win it. I forget. But he picks his own man. He runs a pick on a Laker, puts a pick on the Laker. And so I'm on the NBA's ass. I know that's part of the reason they took my stuff down too. But I watch that kind of thing. How are you, like, watch pro football where you see an open move? And like Pat Mahomes in the playoffs last season did that long run. Even Wiley talks shit about how nobody tried to tackle him. He's spinning at the end, but nobody really tries to tackle him. Look at Steve Young's run against the Vikings. Remember the Burger King big head? They put that on the run where Burger King got the touchdown, where none of the Vikings can tackle Steve Young. And Steve Young is about 6'4", 6'5". He's a big, strong guy. But none of the Vikings can tackle him. And Steve Young stumbles, and then he gets into the end zone. So you see it. Just pay attention to the plays. I guess I pay attention more than anybody, but just pay attention. Look at plays. But we have defensive players that will block their own men so the offensive player can score. Now, you saying that's normal? But look at the Minnesota Miracle. Go wherever you can Google it or download it, watch that again. And you see, I think his name is Lattimore. Lattimore, the safety, knocks out the DB that could have made the tackle on Diggs. But he goes right, and that's what you see. They'll tackle or knock the person out the way that it could make a play because that person might be a younger player. And, the earbud is like, you got to take your old man out. Make sure so-and-so doesn't make the tackle. And they have to take their old man out. And we see that time and time and time and time again. Have you heard of the upcoming sprinter from Texas called Sha'Carri Richardson? Some say she looks masculine. She just ran the 6th fastest 100-meter going to break the world record. I don't know, but I watched the dog yesterday. The dog ran the 2nd fast 100-meter besides the Jamaican dude. Did y'all see that yesterday? The dog broke the record. The dog was the 2nd fastest 100 ever ran. I haven't heard about that person, but I saw it's Alabama, and then there was another state yesterday or day before that said they're not letting trans athletes play sports. You have to play sports that what you're in. But no, I haven't heard of that. But yeah, I think I have. I think I made a video about that person. The Patriots went in after 9-1 and wake them up, then they are sheep. Yes, they are. Because that's the only reason they won. Just like Katrina, when the Saints won a Katrina. Yep. Same thing with famous Marshawn Lynch run against the Saints. Yeah. Where he became beast mode. No one tried to tackle. I mean, you can't tell me what's his name, the big back from Alabama. Henry, is that his name? Henry, that plays for the Titans. and he did them last runs the last couple seasons, and nobody wants to tackle this big slow. This dude is big, but he ain't got burners. And you telling me this dude that runs about a 4.7, 4.8 is, and dudes who's running 4.3, 4.4s can't catch this dude that runs Eric Dickerson style straight up and down. And he running 98, 97-yard runs. When Tony Dorsett was the first one to get a 99-yard run, he outran everybody. That big dude Henry didn't outrun anybody. Skull Bikes from the 336. What's happening? Coming for the Cowboys game this year. Nice. It's funny. We went to, my Eagles are my team, and we was with some dudes. We watched the Eagles get destroyed by the Vikings 2 seasons ago. My son got a game because it was with the Eagles. And, I've liked the Eagles since the 70s. And we were sitting with some Philly dudes and like my guys, I mean, we had started getting drunk from early that day. So the young men I was with, my son and his friends, they was kind of stoked. And we were sitting behind some Philly dudes. And the Philly dudes were just tripping. Some of my son's friends was about to jump. I'm not really, but kind of like. And then one of the Philly dudes tries to bend down underneath the seat. And I mean, we sitting up in the nosebleeds. I'm going to tell the truth. We were sitting upper deck, but the stadium is so nice. All the seats it's not like sitting upper deck at the Target Center where they look this big. Football, they still look pretty big. But he's trying to smoke a cigarette, and it was like out of nowhere. The security came and like jacked his ass up. Was about to put his ass up out of there. But these was diehard Eagle fans that flew to all the games. It was like, what do we do afterwards? But yeah, that's nice though. That's nice that you coming up here. Definitely Skull. Yeah. Adam Shockley. I always pinpoint that scene in the game. Straight scripted. The game that really made me laugh was the Patriots comeback to Atlanta. Only you can come back in a game like that with help. Yeah. Lynch was also dead in Buffalo. Became a beast as soon as he went to Seahawks, actually. Yes. And all biz. All your Henry was mashing people out, but once the playoffs hit, they shut him down. And this is the thing, the Atlanta. Look at the Atlanta game because they on the replays, they don't try to show it. So you have the ball inside field goal range. Everyone knows you don't run sweeps. You might run off tackle. First down was no gain. And then you run spread rush. 3 plays of spread rush. So 2 plays go nowhere. And then the third down, you're going to have a 6-7 yard drop where the only way you can get out of field goal range is have a 6-7 yard drop. And then that guy gets hired. Shanahan gets hired with the 49ers. Who calls that play? If football wasn't fixed, what sane person calls those plays? What sane person runs spread when you winning by that margin? Spread, hurry up. No one runs spread, hurry up. So, didn't make sense. But it was the same way with Jackson. Jackson had a time to get a first down. Instead of him just running where it's open, he turns his back to the line and tries to, I don't know if he was trying to high jump over, but he doesn't even make a believable effort. He turns his back and tries to run. I mean, it was just such a fixed play that it just didn't make any sense. Yep. There's so many all year. Yep. So many is uncanny. I've been trying to figure out rigging for players to help me. Yep. You and both Adam. They told Gurley to shut it down in the Super Bowl against the Pats. Yeah. Well, I mean, yep. Hopkins catch to win the game. Another one. Well, that we get into, the gloves. We know that the magnetics are in the gloves. You can find the video. You can find the video. I think one of the videos is in my comments back months ago. You can see where they have the balls with the magnetics, the gloves with the magnetics. They've had that technology for a while. So yeah, it's the grip gloves. That people get tired of me saying grip gloves, but it's the grip gloves. You can see when the grip magnetic gloves are used. And I mean, I've been around too much football to know that guys just don't reach for one hand every time, knowing they're going to catch it, or reaching behind them one hand, knowing they're going to catch it. Yeah. And the ball just sticks to the glove and you can bring it in. A lot of times they ain't got to bring it in. They just hold it like that. One time we're going to show them doing this. Watch. One day we're going to catch them doing this where they don't turn it off. No, it's not that strong magnetics. But with a little bit of magnetics and you get your thumb and hand on it, or even if you get these fingers on it, we've seen catches where not even the thumbs is used, where you just get them hands on it, which is impossible in physics. They make some catches where it's impossible to catch it without the thumb support. And yet they're catching it with 1-2 fingers on it. Not believable. But yeah, the Hopkins catch was ridiculous too. But it's the grip gloves. And we've broken that down. It's the magnetics in the gloves. It's magnets in the gloves and attraction in the ball. But when they throw footballs in the stands, well, they used to. They used to throw football in the stands. That's going to be interesting. Now people are saying that about those kind of balls. Are they still going to allow that? Because when they run balls, they seem to throw those in the stands. Sometimes when they catch it, but not a lot of times it's the running backs that throw the balls in the stands. Not necessarily a good catch. Most of the time it is. It's people run the ball in and not necessarily catch the ball. So, I saw on Sports Center, Gronkowski catching the ball from a helicopter breaks world record. Clearly grip gloves. Okay, I didn't read it. I saw that he did that was during their spring game. I saw that. I read the thing. I didn't know what happened. So yeah, it's clearly with that. Yeah. Norm, you're not normally going to catch it. And I bet he had the gloves on too, Edward. I bet he had the gloves on. Bet you anything he had those gloves on. That ball would be humming out that thing. But to tell you how world records go, the Globetrotters are call the people to come, certify the world record. Not saying that they got the magnetics and the balls and the hoops, and the Globetrotters is throwing hooks and throwing it from, behind the basket on one basket, over the basket, all the way. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous looking shit you could ever watch. So I don't care about questions. I answer questions if I know. But yeah, I watched the rigging. I remember the '70 Super Bowl when the Colts, again, that game, you saw the first time that they allowed two offensive players to touch the ball, because Eddie Hinton of Baltimore hit the ball, and then Mel Renfro went to hit it but missed it, and then John Mackey caught it. It was the same thing as the reception that Franco Harris did. The original play is Tatum hit Frenchie Fuqua. Frenchie Fuqua wore the heels with the fish in it. But anyway, and the ball hits him, and the rules was that two offensive players, like, you couldn't tip it from one offensive player. The rules have changed, but back then two offensive players couldn't hit the ball. Clearly, Tatum hits Frenchie Fuqua, and the ball hits Fuqua in the chest, and then Franco Harris catches it. That was illegal back then, just as it was in the Baltimore game. But then Baltimore beat Dallas. But remember, Baltimore gave up the Joe Namath game. There was two Super Bowls that they let the AFL win. The Joe Namath game is one of them, prime. They don't let Johnny Unitas play. They let Earl Morrall play, and Earl Morrall was never Johnny Unitas. Johnny Unitas was the best quarterback ever. So Earl Morrall was a backup, but they didn't. And then Earl Morrall purposely doesn't pass to Orr. I can't think of his name. But the wide receiver, Orr, he died a year or two ago. But this is how fixed the play is. It's a flea flicker, and Orr is the prime receiver. He's open in the end zone. You can watch the film of that Super Bowl. He's in the end zone waving his hand. Morrow throws it right to one of the Jets. Then they put Johnny Unitas in, and he damn near wins the game. But again, Baltimore threw that Super Bowl, so the next year they let them beat Dallas. And then the other one was with the Vikings. That Viking team against the Chiefs team. Come on. That missed tackle against Otis Taylor. Come on. One-on-one, first of all. Nobody over there but him and Otis Taylor. So if that guy misses, nobody else can make the tackle. So yeah. And then so all of them, all the Super Bowls been fixed. All the Super Bowls been fixed. Not just one or two, all. But they let the AFL win with the Chiefs and the Jets so people would accept the AFL as legitimate because they're risking a lot of dough. I mean, a lot of these AFL teams didn't necessarily make it over. Some of those teams folded. But the teams that were strong enough to hang in there, like the ABA team, shit, they paid like one of the best things ever was the dudes who own the the dudes who own the St. Louis Spirits. They got $1 billion from not going into the NBA. And then Stern, they were stinging Stern so hard, they just paid him off. But they had the foresight to say, well, you just give us some of that TV money in the future, just give us a little of that money. When they signed it, the TV money wasn't in the bill, wasn't what it is in modern days. Yeah. By the time the 80s hit and then big TV contracts, them dudes that they outsmarted David Stern, who was a lawyer, Jewish faith lawyer at that. But yeah. The Raiders Bucks made me mad. The Raiders and the Bucks, yeah. Remember, that's the game where the center went crazy. Center went crazy. You don't change any of the plays. Callahan didn't change any of the plays. It's the same verbiage, same hot plays. It's just, NBA Finals, too. Of course, the NBA Finals. I was getting into saying the first thing that made me notice fixed games was, again, the 77 season with the Sixers in that team against Bill Walton and that team. And Bill Walton, that was his only really good season in the pros. That was only, he was injury. Again, the big man having them ankle problems and foot problems. Bill Walton did. But that was his only good, strong season was that season. And you can't tell me that Dr. J and them just blew them out the first two games and they lose 4 in a row to that team. And then Dr. J's just dominating them. He doesn't get the last shot. A person who averaged 25, 26 could have been the MVP in 76. He's averaging 25, 26, and then in the finals he averages less than 10. And he takes the last shot, and not Dr. J. Yeah, that was fixed too. Anybody bet on the Chiefs this Super Bowl? That's on them because it was obvious they were going to have the Bucks with the whole script was obvious. Yeah, we made a killing off that. Not too many people went for the Chiefs. I noticed good players' career died at the Jets and the Pats. Some do definitely with the Jets. The Pats is if you fit in their system. They don't want you to be a superstar. They didn't want them to overshadow Brady. That's why I look at the Pats to get in there in a year or two and watch Belichick win one. I don't know if they're going to win one with Cam. They might play the same thing to get Brady in there. Cam get injured, and then the number 2 come and took him to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised they ran that again because that's all they did with Brady. Got Drew out of there and let this guy who shouldn't even got drafted. Brady shouldn't even been drafted. Shouldn't even got drafted. But they had plans for him. Check my comment on your last video. Okay, Fred, I will. Can you look at my comment in your last video? Okay, you only saying that, you're insisting. Okay, that one's fucking around. I'm not going to go through all that work. I'm going to just turn this one on. Oh, there I go. There I go. Okay, I'll try to see it. Oh, here we go. All this. So he says exactly all this pandering. Same thing with the Japanese player for the Wizards, the guy that used to play with Gonzaga. And he's a brother. Look at all the league. Killian Hayes, Pistons, France. Do the Michigan history on that. Watch Steph Curry land with the Charlotte Hornets. If you know the Queen Charlotte, you know what I'm getting at. Oh, good point. Very good point, Fred. Very good point. I think the Joker's going to get the MVP. I mean, hell, they gave it to Nash. Shit, Nash. Yeah. Steve Nash wasn't that great a player. You could have got a bunch of dudes. Let's put it this way. It's dudes that went to prison that was better than Steve Nash. Steve Nash couldn't have went in prisons and did real work. And I mean, and playing in prison tournaments. We used to go into Jackson Prison and play in the tournaments in the prison. And I watched Tim Reed score 100 points on a mug. And I don't mean just bad players. I mean, he just put that much pressure on him. He was the only guy I knew, and this was over Rashawn Leonard. I mean, Rashawn Leonard could shoot over 5 dudes, but not take 5 dudes to the basket. Tim Reed was the only player I ever played against that could take 5 players, could all try to 5 teaming, and Tim Reed was strong enough to get by him. I mean, he wouldn't pass, wouldn't really play defense, but going to the basket, yeah, I hadn't seen a few stronger. And Tim was about 6'4", 220, 230, really like Bonzi Wells type of build. I would almost say a little thicker than Edwards, but 5 players trying to press him, and I don't mean 5 scrubs. I mean 5 quick dudes, and he could just. But yeah, Fred, that is smooth. You are right about that. You're definitely right, and that's the agenda. And then it's not about, taking basketball to the world. It's not. It's about butts in the seats because they're about to bring them back. And, Stern was so, he was looking at, even though he made Michael Jordan and he made the league, he changed the rules. And I know a lot of people's like, well, Mike played so well before they took the hand checking rule out, his game changed. Not only did they take the hand checking out to help Michael Jordan, they called fouls every time you got near him. Look at when Michael Jordan, Bird, and Magic are standing there about to take the picture. What does Magic say? And Magic pissed Michael Jordan off. You can look in his face. He said, "Don't get that close to Michael. They'll call a foul." And Michael kind of stutters. He didn't know what to say. He's like, you ain't played. The best thing he could say was, well, you ain't played in a while, so you couldn't get a foul. He couldn't. Magic stung his ass. But Magic says, watch that little clip. Magic says, don't get too close to Michael. They'll call a foul. Magic is talking shit. Magic knows his fix, but, Magic dribbles the ball out. Remember that? And what is it, 81 season, 82 season? Magic dribbles the ball out instead of trying to give it to Jabbar or Bob McAdoo. Remember that? Magic's dribbling when he should. We watched Van Fleet do that this past season. Van Fleet dribbling the ball out instead of trying to score. Well, Magic did the same thing in 81 or 82 season. They was calling his ass Tragic Johnson. One of the worst commercials, like Magic got hurt his first or second season, I remember. He was like, and they showed it, and it was a commercial selling some bullshit. He's like, they showed when he got hurt, and he's like, they went to the whatever the commercial was about. He's like, I thought it was over. Like, dude, you're 21, 22 years old, and the guy barely ran into you. You sprained your knee, but he's like, I thought it was over. And, always doing the coon smiling, always doing the coon smiling. Magic coon smiles. But Magic, is from that era, a couple years older than me, where coon smiling, they like that. And that's why he was chosen. He was chosen. He was chosen. I had to step away. Did you answer my question while I was gone? If I apologize, what was your question, Adam? I don't know if I saw your question. Let's see. What was your question? Have you ever seen betting lines give away rigging of certain games before or after the games was played? Huh. Have you ever seen betting lines giving away rigging? Well, I think now that's one thing I'll hand off to Zach. Zach shows that too. I don't know if Zach will give his picks kind of before the betting lines come out. But yeah, it's betting lines where you can see that it's in, or they trying to sucker people in. Like the Gonzaga was one of them. It was like 14. They was the championship game was 14, or maybe it was the semifinal game was 14. No, I want to say the championship game was 14. So yeah, it was obvious it wasn't going to be 14, and I knew they weren't going to let that small college win. So yeah, there's times where the betting lines give it away. Absolutely. I step away. The way those teams are being built. One thing you'll never hear from people on YouTube are clones. The Gucci Mane wouldn't done it for me. Still to this day, I think it's got to be at least 3 of him. But yeah, we talk about that all the time. Clones or consciousness transfers. There's a lot of different ways they do that. Super team is overstatement. All these fake injuries, absolutely fake injuries. Yep. But it's a lot of different ways to replace a person. I mean, people, I've talked about this often. People look alike. People look alike. Like you can look up where it's a dude that was in a Texas prison. Not only did they look identical, they had the same name. And they was in prison together for 5 years before they even realized it was two separate people. But people look alike. People look alike. I've talked about this many times of me traveling the country doing games. I would see a child that I knew the adult version of them in Michigan. And I would see the opposite. I would see a grown up, that I knew was a child in Michigan. I would see the grown up version I knew the child in Michigan. One little bony baloney. I remember I saw a woman and she ended up looking like this woman when she grew up. But I saw her adult version. And so people look alike. People really do look alike. I mean, my sons all favor me to a way. They're just bigger guys, but they all favor me pretty much. But people look alike too. And so don't be so quick to say clones, but people look alike. People really do look alike. And you can take a person that looks similar and you put them in the clothes, tell them how to act, cut their hair a certain way, and they can pass for people. What is the Robert Heinlein movie? Robert Heinlein movie. Strange Man and the Strange Planet, where he could ship shape and he went to Mars because he could shape shift, but he got sick to his stomach being around them Martian motherfuckers, and they put him in a trance so he could hold the shape. And because someone had assassinated the president, and the United States needed this motherfucker to be the president because they didn't want the galactic war and shit. So they sent the shapeshifter in there, and the shapeshifter, they hypnotized him so he didn't get sick around these motherfuckers, and he lived the rest of his life on Mars. I mean, they still do that kind of thing. That's what he's trying to tell you. Magic huge faker. Yeah, he never had AIDS. No. Nope. Yep. No, Magic never had AIDS. No, he definitely didn't. They said the shit they say he took. Now they sell it. They sell his commercials for the shit. I'm not remember the band lady. I'm not gonna let my HIV stop me. Remember, she's doing the band lady because I take this, and it's the shit Magic supposedly took. Yeah, Magic didn't have that shit. Why didn't his wife have it? He just cut off. He stopped having sex with her just the day, the right day. Like, well, I'm glad I didn't hit it a couple days before because you might have had it, honey. And you're pregnant with little Irvin Jr. So, yeah, that was bullshit. That was bullshit. And it was a shaming, too. Yeah, Scott Van Pelt. I mean, people don't watch that shit. They make mockings. They mock people with that Scott Van Pelt and Stanford Steve. Any of y'all really into athletics like that or in sports? Watch that shit. How they show you how these teams that you never heard of, these small colleges, the over and under, they show you how even these schools will make baskets or make a touchdown, score a puck. I mean, they show you the mocking. But watch that Van Pelt and Stanford Steve. Watch that part because they show you the mocking. If these betting shops had some type of algorithm where they can see exactly how many people are betting on what before each event, they make maneuvers to ensure the house always wins. Well, they do. You got to bet before. That's why the lottery will remember the movie Hoodlums? Remember the movie Hoodlums? When Dutch Schultz is about to take over and he has a numbers guy, and the numbers guy, he's like, I can tell you the odds of every numbers. And he said, this is the thing. If somebody comes in and says they hit the number, because a lot of it goes on the stock exchange, a lot of it goes on the race. And he says, well, we'll change the race. We'll change the number. So if somebody says they hit the number, then we'll change it. I mean, a true lottery, you don't put the shit in. You don't put the shit in where they can see it. That's my point. You don't put it in. You stick it in a bucket where nobody can read it. That's a true lottery. Did anybody ever see the short story about the lottery before? Anybody ever see that short story? I'll tell it. So this was an interesting short story, and it's the lottery. And so everybody's in town is getting together, and there's like, yes, the lottery. There's always going to be a lottery. There's an old man that's telling you, to do the certain balance, we always got to have a lottery. So everybody goes up and puts their number in, and puts the thing in, and there's this old man in the background. We're going to always have a lottery. When the lottery comes out, and there's this blonde. She's the lucky lottery winner. And she's like, no, no. And her family like backs away from her. Everybody in town grabs a rock and rocks the fuck out of this bitch. Kills her. Kills her. That's a short story, a little short story movie. But how they, what is it called when they kill the women? Before Islam, they was killing the women. Muhammad made them stop killing the female children when they was born. But yeah, that's a little short story. It was called The Lottery. Saw that shit back in the 70s. They showed that shit to me in junior high. And they show them rock this bitch. They show her like when she's bleeding and shit. It's special effects and it's fake blood, but they show it. 70s fake blood. I'm watching this shit in class. This is in class. But yeah, the lottery, a true lottery would you put the pot somewhere where a computer can't read it. That's the true lottery. Like the way they used to do it, you put all the betting slips in. So you don't know, the betting slips are still coming in. And then the lottery's drawn before all the betting slips is in. And then they go through all the betting slips. But not no shit where, you buy a ticket from these motherfuckers and then you put it in and it goes into the computer and then the lottery can just look and say, okay, we don't want anybody to win this week. Like you think motherfucker when they had the $1 billion lottery, a motherfucker just... No, they choose like the sister that won in South Carolina. And what does this dumb bitch do? She buys a fucking, slavery is some bullshit anyway, but she buys a plantation. And then they tell the lie that she done wasted $20 million bailing her person out. Well, you bail a person out, if they go to court, you get the money back. But it was a shaming. And then they had to put the shaming wasn't enough. They said now he's suing the chick because, before he went to jail, she bought him all this shit. Now this motherfucker been in jail and going to be in jail for a couple more years. She's like, fuck him. But you see, yeah. Have you ever won or know anyone that won the lottery? Yeah. My man won the lottery. Dude I was in business with ran a security company. He won it. He was one of the first ones in Michigan to win it. And he got $50,000 a year for 20 years. He won like 2 or 3 million, something like that. He got $50,000 a year for 20 years. But he was one of the first people to win the lottery. He won the lottery in like 86, 87. He was a cop and got fired being a cop. And then he won the lottery a year or two later. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I knew a dude. He was the first cat that bought the 89s, the L class. What is the L class Lexus? He was the first cat I knew that had one of them. He had got his lottery money in. And he went straight and bought one of them. I think he paid $38,000 for it back then, for a new the big Lexus, the L class Lexus. Yep. But yeah, I knew a cat that won that. Have a good one. Well, good night. Yeah, that's a funny movie. Well, good night. Thank you for joining me, Edwin. I appreciate it. I have one on DraftKings. Okay, Adam. Yeah. I mean, you study this thing, you can get them. Well, I'm gonna do my divinations before I forget. And so we are at day 7. So 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes, 8 unal, and we are on 7 kin. And I remember yesterday I lost my place. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Surely dropped it. I'll use this. This big ass piece of paper is too big anyway. All right. So we are on day 7. The day 7 is manic, hand grasping, closure, knowledge of power, completion, realization of finiteness of the physical being. And those of you that would like the fractal energy, it is here. And as you can see, it is here. And as you can see, the energy is from the west. And then for the Toltec, Oh, here we go. In the Toltec, in this card, we see a spiritual seeker looking for sacred wisdom. The deer is the one who will bring the vision. On the upper right hand corner, we see the symbol of the Venus, the planet representing Quetzalcoatl. The seeker is seated on the sacred mountain. The double heads of the mountain represents Omato. The divine duality is on top and the bottom of everything that exists. As we can see, the story of Thomas Calamari, the blue deer, Mazato, represents the quest for spiritual wisdom. The deer will bring the vision as long as we undertake all the steps and tasks that must be accomplished before the deer will reveal itself. Getting this card is a call to seek the vision that will show you what your task and path of heart will be from now on. Until the vision is fulfilled, the time for another vision will come to you. The quest for a vision is an old spiritual practice among the people of the Yanni traditions all over the world throughout history. It is performed in many ways in accordance with the cultural background of the seeker. But the basic element is isolation in the wilderness or one or more days, often including fasting, praying, singing, or dancing. The intent is to call on the Great Spirit to bring us the vision that will direct our life from then on. Masato suggests the spiritual initiation and awakening to a higher state of awareness is an omen and a call. It is up to you to find out how and when you respond to that call. And so if you have visions, what are in the visions beyond the way I am constraining my present life? What is the vision or dream showing you? Do I have a vision what I want to do for the rest of my life, which is very possible? Is it time for me to look for a higher vision around which to organize my life? Again, meditation is a great way to understand some of these things. Write a list of the most important events in your life. Do you ask for help when you need it? Do you need to learn and practice how to ask for help? Who could support you in finding your vision? Get support from people you trust. Share with them your intention to find your vision and the difficulties you are encountering. Talk with people who have accomplished a similar process and can share his or her experiences with you. And that's what I try to do. I really try to do that because I can hit you on sports and I can hit you with this spiritual stuff as well. I don't try to push it down anybody's throat, but that is my gift from me to the people that take their time to watch. I notice a player will dominate a team and then play again, and they are absolute trash. Even as a kid, I thought it made no sense. And that was like I was talking about Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre killed it, and then they played then they played Irving in them. So Kelly Oubre is 6'6", jump, high jumper. Irving's guarding him, and instead of him posting up, he runs to the 3-point mark. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you go post up Irving? There's no way Irving can guard you, but it just shows you. They all got the earbuds and they tell him, yeah, you can't post up Irving right now. You gotta do this bullshit. Hey Jeffrey, what's happening? No audio? Really? Doesn't say I don't have audio. No wind in the audio. No wind in the audio. Huh. Definition of fake news, and it's highly entertaining. Okay. It is highly entertaining, Jeffrey. Thank you for that. We're drilling. What's this bullshit? It's scaring me and shit. Okay, yeah, I'm still on. Okay. I hear you fine. Yeah, I thought so. Audio's good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Leonoid. Thank you. No wind in the audio. Hey, what are you talking about? I hear you fine. Okay. I think he was just making a metaphor. That's all right. That is all right. Nothing to get upset about or anything. So this is just what we're faced with. And again, I think one thing Zach does do is you get on his Patreon. He helps people to make picks. I mean, yeah, you have to pay monthly for it, but you some people win. I can't. I've heard some people that are unhappy with him, and some people is happy with him. So that's kind of your crapshoot. You know, the Nets big three just cannot win a game together. Do you think there's something causes home runs? Yes, it's called they hit him, they pitch it to him where they want to hit it. That's why baseball is the easiest thing to fix of all things. Baseball and boxing are the easiest because the game is with the pitcher. I mean, I'm going to do a compilation 3-point shooting video eventually. I learned that skill and how to edit. And just to show you how badly NBA players shoot, except when the basket's turned on for them, because the guys just aren't great shooters all the time. Like they were showing Steph make all them, where everyone he made was basket. When he was practicing, they were also practicing his system. Steph has his own system. As I watched the game with him, the Joker, I looked at how some of Joker's shots went in. I'm like, yeah, that's Steph's system there. Steph has his own manipulation system. He doesn't have the same. I'll say this. Sometimes when he plays away, they use the regular system. But most of his games, they take his system with him. Steph has his own system because no one in the history of the NBA makes as many swishes as he does. It's impossible not to hit the rim. Oh, he just has the touch. That's some bullshit. Steph played a game the other night where one shot hit the rim. That's impossible for every shot not to hit the rim. It's impossible. But yeah, he did it. Saving them for the tournament. You see a lot of pitchers hitting now. You think that something causes home runs? Yeah. Because you see a lot of pitchers hitting. Well, I mean, they are trying to get the where you don't have to bat in both leagues, which to me, a pitcher shouldn't have to bat. I mean, hundreds of years they did, but I see the point of taking away from your pitching ability to hit and run. Yeah. Because it's silly when a pitcher, is running to a base or sliding and gets injured. That's a waste of player to me. So why not have 9 dudes that can hit? Unless the pitcher was Babe Ruth when he was young. If there's such thing as an A-list celebrity, I've noticed over the 10 years that these new artists have come through and been put out there differently. For example, Beyonce or 50 Cent. Yeah, I mean, 50 Cent had his own journey, but yeah, Lenoid, it is a joke. Hey, Barbara, thank you. I got your address. So I will be sending it out to you. Oh, I have to see how many I have, but I'll send you a little something different since you was the first one to ask. I'll send you, I'll show you. I'm not sending everybody this, but I'll give you the whole thing. I'm going to send you this. This is the calcite, and it's got the bag in there too. So I'll send you the whole thing. I'll save that for you, Barbara. But it's 4 pieces of calcite and the bag. They gave me a bunch of these for free, but I only got I use the bag. Sorry, I don't use the calcite. It's not that I don't use it, but I've got so that 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. Like I got 8 pieces, so I can send people 2 pieces. I'll give her those 4, but I can send other people 2 pieces. And if I run out of enough, I can send people 1 piece. So however people want it. I would love to see a collab of all your Rig NBA videos. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. Not even Millet and the 3-point shooter in the 90s, all these threes from the distance. Yeah, it's just not possible. Again, I always also often talk about played for the Louis Dampier. He played his whole career with a 3-point shot, and I say this because it wasn't like that for him in college, but when he went into the ABA, because the 3-point shot started in the ABL, a league that only played 60-61 season, or maybe they played 61-62. Because I'm going to say Connie Hawkins graduated 61. So when Connie Hawkins got banned for the NBA, he played with Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Wrens in 61-62. But they were the ones that put the 3-point shot in. And so in the 66-67, when they put the ABA in, they started using the 3-point shot. So I compared Louis Dampier because in high school and college, he did not have the 3-point shot, not like these dudes do now. And so Louis Dampier, his best year was his last year in the league. He shot 50%. So not like these guys that had it in high school and then had it in the pros. Louis Dampier, to me, is a more even kind of way to evaluate because, again, here was a dude 10 years in his last year, he had his best year. Not these dudes that grew up shooting that shit. That's why I look at him as probably the last person to really judge on that system as a person that didn't, have it most of his life. Like Steph had it in high school. Steph had it, again, they did the shit for him in college. He had that system since college because have you seen the College of Charleston be back in the Final Four? They did that shit to just as they didn't even give Brady that. Brady was a bench rider at Michigan. At least they let Steph start. Brady was a bench rider. Greasy was the one that was a higher pick than Brady. Greasy won the Rose Bowl, not Brady. Brady was a bench rider at Michigan, and then bench rider gets drafted. Have you ever thought about angels and demons in the outfield? That too, or am I reaching too much? The movie was a good idea, but I don't think as a premise they care like that. I don't think they care like that. Excuse me. I don't think they care like that. I don't think it would be important enough to do that. Now, if you looked at Bedazzled and looked at it kind of like Bedazzled happened, or even Damn Yankees, where I don't even know if the Damn Yankees they get help like that. Because that ain't really set up like that. That ain't really set up like you have to sell your soul to get these benefits. They just the angels just help because there's I don't know, is there a demon in that? I don't think there's even a demon in that goes the opposite. I don't even think in that they put an opposite in there. I don't remember. I was watching it a couple of weeks ago. I saw some parts of it, but I don't remember them putting the opposite in it. Again, I didn't watch it. The rest of it. It's been so long ago. That's an '80s movie, I do believe. But no, I don't think it would. They would look at it as being important enough. I don't think it would be important enough, but it's because they really this is the last time I'm bothering. Is it just because I really want you to see it, or is just YouTube Paul George gets stuck on a rim? It comes up instantly. Okay, I'll look it up. I have not seen it. I will look it up. Um, put it in here. Oops. I have not watched it yet. Paul. Definitely don't want to see when he hurt his leg. Layup has to be under layup. Layup. I have not watched it yet. This must be it. Miss Layup. Hmm. Nuggets game 3 weeks ago? No, this was sooner than that. This was sooner than that. This wasn't 3 weeks ago. This was the other night. I don't think this is it. Hmm. Ah, here we go. This must be it. This is it. Okay. It says only 29 seconds. Let me check it out. Ah, okay. Wow. You just don't hardly see this on you stop seeing this when you stop having static rims. When the rims became unstatic, you just didn't see this. They show it anymore? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that shows the system. Ah, yeah, that shows the system in work. System was the system probably wasn't what is the word I'm looking for? Like when you test something, it doesn't look like it was tested right. That's not the word I'm looking for. That's the only word I can think of right now. Primed. It seems like they didn't prime the. And there's another word I'm still looking for, but it's like it didn't. They didn't prime the rim, test the rim enough. It had too much attraction. Wow. Yeah, I see that word. Wow, I never saw it. Yeah, not against the Rockets. Yeah, I saw it. I caught it. Another way to catch magnetic rims or whenever is to watch the highlights, condensed games. I bet you could find just a few of those. Calibrate. That's what I was looking for, all biz. Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't look like they calibrated the rim right and it was too much on it. Or they hit the too much attraction when they was trying to hone it in or push it out. They didn't have it calibrated. Thank you. Thank you, all biz. That was the word. Thank you for helping an old man. Thank you for helping me out with that. But yeah, that's what we see. That's what it looks like. So it wasn't calibrated right because that's what they do. Like I showed a video. I don't know if it's on this channel, the other one, where they're practicing. They're practicing with Curry to try to hone it in. They are practicing with him, and you can see by the type of shots he takes. He looks at. Watch where he takes these shots, and I don't know if it's on this channel or they took it away from other channel. I'm not sure. But I showed one video that showed them practicing the system, and I think it's on this channel. So there's a lot of acting going on in India right now. Yeah, because let me read this shit. I'm friends with this chick on Facebook, and this chick is saying it's doubled, and they're sending people out of the country, and I'm like, chick, Facebook is all about suckering you in to make you comment, but see if I can find this chick. She's saying the same shit. It reminds me of that same propaganda that they were showing in China, before this bullshit hit here. Let me see if I can find this goofy. See this shit she was saying. Ah. I don't remember her name, so if her shit don't pop up, I might not know who she is. But she was saying the same stupid shit. Oh, we can't go anywhere. I'll tell you what, though, they ain't fucking around in Canada. They straight up telling you that Canada is under martial law. They ain't calling it that, but that's what it is. Canada is under martial law. So, but that's what they want. And Canada is part of Britain. Don't remember that. They are part of Britain. I don't see this goofy chick. But she's there trying to panic people about India. It's an act. Not saying they ain't murking people, because we know, the people behind this is the best murderers ever. So do you think when Jordan hit the 6 threes? Absolutely, Edward. Absolutely. 93, the system was up and working. Absolutely. That's why he does like this. He can't explain it himself because he wasn't that good a shooter. He wasn't that good a shooter at that point. He wasn't shooting Kyle Macy. He was still shooting like this. He's still shooting out in front of him. He didn't do the kick leg, and which is Kyle Macy's shot. Look up Kyle Macy and look at when Michael Jordan started shooting more jumpers. He did the kick leg shot of Kyle Macy's. But when he hit that 3-point game, it looked like the same shooter that won the game against Georgetown. It's that same style shooter. There's no way he'd be that consistent. No way. He wasn't known for that, but yet he sets the record in the finals. That's why he looked at Magic like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. The shit's going in every time. Because they're helping him. That's why. And maybe that was an instance where he really didn't even know, too. He got caught off guard. Because that should have been a much closer series. Should have been a much closer series. The system has been around, really the system we could call since 85. 85. The system is, 83. 83. But 85 was the first time I caught it on a whole game. 83 up to 83, from 68 to 83 looked like a couple shots a game. But 85 was the first time a full game. I bet that was the first time in the finals. I'd have to really go back and remember. But by 9, yeah, but that game with Mike was definitely basket manipulation on all those shots. That was not his thing. but all of a sudden that's his thing. So we know that it was some BS. It was some BS. Well, guys, what about bowling? You know what? I'll say bowling is one sport where dudes actually can throw the ball that well. Dudes can actually throw the ball that well. I don't think they have to do it in bowling. There ain't a lot of stakes in the professional bowling. So I don't think they have to do it. It's dudes that can bowl that well. I used to work with a dude. When you throw a 300 game, they give you a ring. You get like a ring that shows that you did it, not just a trophy, but you get a ring. And this dude, he threw 4 or 5 300s. I mean, he was a bowler. And I used to work with him for wanted to kick his ass one day. And he saw my car. He saw I was driving a Land Rover, and that shit changed our relationship. But anyway, he threw 4 or 5 300 games. So this is just a regular dude. I mean, he was and he bowled a few 300 games. So yeah, it's dudes can just throw the ball. So it's not a lot of money on it. So yeah, I think bowlers have their own free reign. Not to say maybe a shot or two, but most bowlers can bowl. If you ever been there and watched people bowl, bowlers can bowl. So they don't really need help. And then you're not talking about that big a difference. You're not talking about that big a difference. I mean, think about it like this. When they do the kiddie bowling, they put the bumpers on there. And just the bumpers, sometimes the children, like my little brother, one time he threw it before bumpers. My brother would sit on, he would get on all fours and he would just push it down. He would just push it like on all fours, and then he would just push it. And the first time he did that, it went down and he got a strike. I mean, it went down in slow motion, but it had enough force to hit one and knock them all down. Oh, about to sneeze. Excuse me. Now it's definitely time to stop. When one comes, a bunch of them come. But so I don't think bowling, I don't think they really have to do that. A lot of crisis dials getting up and putting the fire straight up. It's the same propaganda from China. Yeah, I think so too. That was what I said early in the show, that what we hear from India is the same bullshit we hearing from China. That's how Manu Ginobili of the Spurs could hit a lot of those threes. And Danny Green is the biggest one. I mean, I'll say this. I'm quantifying honestly. Danny Green made me realize the system was what it is. I can't even say back when Jordan hit them that I saw the system, but when I saw the Georgetown game, and then I saw Danny Green made the difference in them beating LeBron was Danny Green. It was no way. And I was like, they still using that same system that Georgetown used. And that's what hit me on this more modern day system. I was like, that's where I came up with basket manipulation, was that Danny Green game. That was the game that I was like, wow, they still using basket manipulation. And that Danny Green game, again, he ain't never shot that well since, where he was the difference. He was the difference in that series. LeBron was giving it to him. And then all of a sudden, Danny Green hitting 4 or 5 threes. Yeah, that was ridiculous. But it woke me up to saying, they're using basket manipulation here. So that's what made me, thank you, NBA, because that's what woke me up to the basket manipulation. You think they're going to try to push the WNBA for this? I think they're trying to push the WNBA for the season coming up. Missing your question, Edward. I think they're going to try to push out the WNBA. Might be because the unit that the people that bought them here ain't said shit about them. With A-Rod and that billionaire he got working with him that bought the Timberwolves, yeah, they ain't said shit about them. So it's kind of people wondering what they're gonna do about them. They ain't said shit about the Lynx, and the Lynx been more successful than the Timberwolves. The Lynx ain't been as long, and the Lynx have won how many titles? 4 or 5 titles. Still today, I wonder how many Danny Green could break Ray Allen's 3-point record. Even Ray Allen was pissed off about that. Yeah, Danny Green wasn't shit. Danny Green wasn't shit, and there was no way he. But I mean, yeah, it was like anybody looked at that and thought that was real. That was just like, man, they could do a better show. Danny Green was garbage. He was out of Carolina. He wasn't known for no jump shooter. And all of a sudden, you are the difference in the finals? Yeah. What did he say? That cat don't walk. Fat meat ain't greasy. Danny Green. Yeah, that was some bullshit. Danny was chosen and all his shots was manipulated in that series. But look how, but like watch the Dallas series where you see LeBron throwing the ball away on purpose. You see LeBron throwing turnovers on purpose, panicking on purpose, not wanting the ball on purpose. So LeBron is a stooge for the league too. He's a stooge, but LeBron gonna be like Brady. LeBron is gonna play with his son, and his son is gonna be with more than likely LA. So don't think that's not gonna happen. That boy got what, another year in high school? Yeah, and he ain't but what, 6'2"? He ain't that tall, so no way he should be in the league. He ain't got that Nate Thurman in him enough. It ain't enough Nate Thurman in him like LeBron. And then LeBron, like I'm surprised he didn't have a spray. He must get used to, because LeBron, like when LeBron plays in that Amy Schumer movie, he got all that spray. You know, all that black spray, he got all that shit in his hair. And you saw him today, he didn't have that. Why not, LeBron? You ain't got to sweat. You watching the game. He be wearing a do-rag. Who in America wears a do-rag for a wig, a toupee? Is that how they do it? Like when the girls put on weaves, do they wear what do they call it, the bonnets? Everything's better with blue bonnet on it. So the girls put like their weave in a bonnet? Is that what they do? Is that why LeBron still wears stockings, wave caps, because of the bonnets, because you can put your weave in a bonnet? Is that what I mean? Women, can you put your weave in a bonnet? Or do you have to sleep like, on Fridays where they got the girl or man, whatever she is, sleeping like this? Dates LeBron's daddy. I think so too. Ja'Cory, it's the same type of build. It's the same type of build. LeBron was doing the Tony from Blue Chips at NBA Finals. Yeah. Tony was what I was talking about earlier, where they showed Tony and they showed him. That's why I brought up Blue Chips, where they showed Tony point shaving the game, and they got that off of. And it's a nice read. The dude they caught in I want to say the guy played in Arizona. Not sure, but that guy, it's a nice read the way he shaved the points and stuff. He was one of the last players that did it. They put him in jail though. He didn't just get put out of college. They actually put his ass in jail. They got him over wire fraud and all that shit. So they tried to make an advantage of him because they didn't. You can't fix the games without the bettors. You can't fix the games on your own. They want to punish you if you fix it on your own. You fix it with them, that's fine, but you can't fix it on your own. And that was their message. Don't try to fix it on your own. We fix games. So, well, guys, sitting down for 2 hours, my butt is becoming very irritated and I need to sit up. And so thank you all for participating tonight. I do appreciate it, because without participation and without viewers, I guess I'm nowhere. Just an old man sitting here. But I appreciate it. I really do. I thank everybody for the interest in me, and my material. I try to be real as I can be. I have fun. I ain't, just one motion. I have fun. I bullshit. And, I can get serious, but I can go with the flow. I can read my audience. So, I don't try to put my beliefs on anybody. Well, you're going to go to hell and you're going to go to hell and you're going to go to hell if you don't follow the ways that I put it. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. My point is this. People, and they got children, and their children are thinking about selling their souls to play pro ball. Try to dissuade them, because it ain't worth it. Because you can paint the future out to them. There's somebody going to get murked. Somebody going to get sacrificed one way or the other, because the price of fame is hell. And like Sly showed that song. What is it? Who I Smoked? Glamorizing murder of melanated people. You don't even need the man anymore. They got idiots killing melanated people. You got teenagers being murderers. mean, that's how low we stooped, that we can only feel good when we kill another person. And maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why ain't there no rap song about them popping off at them blue people? How many blue people are them popped? Ain't no songs like that, is it? How many of them men we done popped? We set them up. We made a fake call. They came in. Pow, pow, pow. And then you don't go nowhere again. To me, that's a celebration. That's a celebration. Not that you killed another melanated person. You doing their work. You doing their work for them. Clan with a tan. Perfect. Perfect way to put there. Because what they don't understand is this. You've got... It's like these young boys, any kind of fame, any kind of dollars. There's no unity with them. They don't think they're going to live long lives. They don't know a lot of motherfuckers is my age. Daddies around, strong male figures around, revolutionaries around. All they know is somebody look like me is the enemy. Now that's Willie Lynch shit, which was Willie Lynch was created by the CIA in the 50s. That's Willie Lynch shit right there. The CIA shit. That's the CIA shit. That your enemy look like you. And that the only way you can make it in life if you knock down a person that look like you. Should be badges for knocking them motherfuckers down. That's what the badges should be. Let's see rap songs about knocking them motherfuckers down. You's a bad motherfucker. Anybody can fucking walk up on a child that don't expect murder today. And that picture with Leonard Fournette with that motherfucker, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Leonard Fournette, you telling me that you don't know what's going on around you? You signing jerseys with this motherfucker? And the other part is they say that motherfucker got taken out with two motherfuckers with masks. So how did the witness know it was him? So, have you heard that song?
Huh?
Who I Smoked? You listen to that shit yet?
I smoke. That shit.
Yeah, that bullshit. Murderers.
Yeah.
It should be them people in blue is who you smoked. Real enemies of the melanated people. Them the enemies, not other melanated people. So, no disrespect to anybody. I like everybody's support, but I'm just saying that's a breakdown of a people when you think that that's a come up. So, well, thank you, everyone. This is the show. I'm your host. A-Wind is timeless. As you know, I always end with Eshawn's rap. I'm not.
You're Eshawn rap, nigga.
If you're in my house and you're black, you don't get no food. Natalie ain't black as you, she get food, right? You the only one don't get no food.
I'm eating right now.
You is my oppressor when I'm trying to save food. You is my oppressor when I buy groceries. You is my oppressor when I'm trying to talk and without nobody interfering. You is my oppressor.
Yo, did Myra join your broadcast?
Who? Who?
Myra. All right, nut.
Okay, that's very gay, but okay.
No, that's just funny.
No, that's not funny. It's very
That's
gay.
very funny.
Very gay. Very gay. Nothing funny about that.
Go to what? All right, nut, nigga.
I have fun. That's all it is. It's I have fun. So as Eshawn's rap goes, his poem, I'm not a New York rapper or LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. This has been a Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for see this in the future. Until go Muhammad Ali on me. That's right. Just having fun. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Until we meet again.